So the world is in a pretty messed up place right now. I feel like it's more messed up than I've ever felt it. And the world just feels like it's getting more and more intense, especially sort of post-COVID. To me, COVID really felt like this sort of upgrade. They wanted to upgrade everybody and to become more insular and disconnected and unhappy and disenfranchised with everything. And I really think that there's going to be more COVIDs. It might not necessarily be a coronavirus, but there'll be more pandemics like COVID. And I say that to say that for myself, I want to prepare myself and my life and structure my life in a way that I'm not going to be caught out by these pandemics or whatever it is, whether it's a World War III, which I think could totally be on the cards with the way that you see things kicking off in the Middle East and between Russia and Europe. And I think that it's quite scary. As a young person, I really feel like there's so much division in the world. It feels like now more than ever, this year, it feels like the whole division between the Muslims and the Christians and the Jews has become explicit, has become ridiculous. It was never like this before, and suddenly, out of nowhere, on Instagram, on YouTube, there are all these videos of people fighting and people, just videos trying to divide us. And I understand why all these things are happening, because we have people at the top that we would call the elites. Not that there's anything elite about them. They're creating this division because the more divided we are, the more easily we are to control, and then the less we focus on them and what they're trying to do, the direction that they're trying to move us towards. And the direction that they're trying to move us towards fundamentally is about control. It's about controlling the human being at the ultimate level. It's about really enslaving the divine human expression. And I know I talk about this a lot. I say quite a lot that the human being is a divine celestial being. And I know that those words can sound very woo-woo and very sort of fantastical and a bit hippie, but it's really, really not. I'm trying to be as practical and as down to earth about it. You are a divine expression. You're like this co-creator being that has been created by God. So you have this soul that's embodied your avatar, and you're playing this virtual reality game that we would call the human experience. But this virtual reality game is unlike any other virtual reality game because firstly, it's for infinity, it's forever. And secondly, there's a certain level of permanence, there's a certain level of responsibility in your actions because God is going to give you what you create, and how you vibrate in the world is what's going to get given back to you. So that's what we would describe as like karma in like Eastern philosophies or Eastern ideas, Eastern religions. And it's why I believe that in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Quran, when it talks about how you're going to go to hell or you're going to go to heaven, depending on how you behave, that's what that means. Is if you're a bad person, you're co-creating yourself that reality, you're sowing yourself into a deeper and deeper, darker illusion. Or if you're a good person, you're going to sow yourself into a higher and higher vibration, and you'll end up in heaven, quote unquote. And it might not happen in this life, but it might happen in your next expression, incarnation, life, whatever it is, whatever the next expression is. So when you realize the stakes of this game, of this reality, you realize that all of your decisions have weight behind them, that there's a level of permanence, there's a level of responsibility in those decisions. And so understanding all of that, I think it's really important to sort of get your life in order. Make sure that you're a good person, you give to charity, you help people, you're expressing love rather than fear and separation. And realize that you're in this system, you're in this game, you're in this world where the elites, they can create these pandemics, these wars, these problems. So I think it's really important to try and set yourself up, to try and set your life up where you're not going to be as enslaved within their system. And that might mean leaving the cities and leaving the mainstream systems and trying to grow your own food, or trying to buy a house in the middle of nowhere where when the power grid goes down, you're not reliant upon food arriving in the shops and the running water coming through your tap at home. You can go to your well, you can go to collect water from your rain collection container, and you're self-sufficient. And I know all these things can sound a bit tinfoil hat and conspiracy theorist, but these power structures, they called COVID, right? They call these things out before they happen. Whether you believe that's on purpose or not, they're calling out, for example, a major power grid failure around the world. They say that we're all going to get hacked and the power grid's going to go down. I think Europe's committed over $20 billion to the Ukraine war, and I think they've already spent something like $61 billion. Don't quote me on these exact figures, but it's a lot of money. I mean, it's billions and billions. Billions thrown into a war, it's not going to stop the war. It's going to create more war. It's more bombs to be dropped. It's more weapons to be shot. It's more destruction. It's fuel to the fire. And so when you realize these things, you realize that we're all being frog marched towards a very specific direction, that it may get to the point where we don't really have the same freedom that we may have had in the past. And it's why I really believe that now's the time to get out of the system. Now's the time to really just disengage from the system as much as possible and to sort of find a level of freedom that you might not have in the future. And like I say, I feel like the ultimate version of that is buy a piece of land, get ready to go off grid, get ready to grow your own food, get ready to grow your own vegetables, because this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. This is like, it's going to be COVID 2.0. It's going to be the next bad thing. It's going to be the next problem. I know all these things can sound a bit tinfoil hat, but I'm not trying to be tinfoil hat about this. I'm trying to be very rational and realistic and logical. And I want to have kids. I want to have kids. I want to have a family. I want to protect my kids. I want to protect my loved ones. And I feel like it's going to become more difficult as the world gets more divided and as AI vaporizes everybody's jobs, because AI is going to do that. It's already happening. It's going to be more difficult to really be able to have freedom, to be able to make these decisions, because there'll be less money. There are institutions like the WEF, the World Economic Forum, they're already talking about, companies like BlackRock are already talking about this idea where you'll own nothing. You'll own nothing and you'll basically rent from the system. You'll be on like a universal credit. You'll be on a tokenized system where they'll say to you, all right, you've got 3 carbon credits this month. Once you run out of carbon credits, you won't be able to buy yourself a steak, or you won't be able to fly to Europe to see your grandmother because you've used your carbon credits. That's a really, really Orwellian future, a future that I don't really want to be a part of. Like I'd rather have a sort of more curated version of my life where, even if it means I'm living in the countryside in the middle of nowhere, at least I know I can go to my chickens in my chicken coop and collect my eggs every day, or go milk my goats and get my raw milk every day. And I'm in control of that. I'm in control of what I put in my body. I'm in control of my life, fundamentally. We're losing control more and more. Everything in the world is like trying to take away your control, trying to get you to give away your power. And like I say, at the highest level, you are a divine celestial being. The more that you can try and internalize that, the more empowered you will become. And it's why I bang on about so much microdosing. Microdosing is so powerful. It will change your life because it will awaken you to the realization as to how special you are, how much of a divine expression you are. It will erode and dissolve those traumas so that you can better express what is uniquely within you. So with that being said, it's time to wake up. It's time to really wake up, and to wake up from this system, from this level of ignorance, this level of sleepwalking that we're all under. And it's why I really, really hope that these videos can help. Even if only a few of you, I hope it helps some of you to not get trapped within the system. So my brothers, my sisters, I leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. I hope that you're well wherever you are in the world. Blessings to you. I'll see you on the other side very soon.